See if anyone jumps on. It's midnight. Okay, it would be literally fine if nobody jumped on, because I'm actually doing this to start a series of my own healing experiences with other practitioners and various modalities. So I'm just going to start talking, and then I'm going to save this to my Instagram TV. I'll wait on that. So hi everyone, my name is Heather Guernsey. I'm the owner of Soul Path Energy Healing, and I am doing an impromptu late night video because I decided that I've been doing a lot of healing myself lately. I believe that every healer needs 10 healers, and I've been experiencing all different kinds of modalities, and so far it's been an absolutely incredible and life-changing journey, and I just decided that I should probably document the experiences, and I thought doing it via video would be a great way to do it and to share my experiences with anyone who's interested. And I wanted to do it now because the longer I wait, the more experiences I'm going to have, and then I'm going to forget them all, because that's what happens. So I got started on my own healing journey about a year ago, and I hit a lifetime low. I was still living in Las Vegas. I lived there for about 9 years with a little stint in LA, and then I moved back to Vegas. And I moved back home where I'm from, to the East Coast in Maine, just about 3 months ago, finally. And last year when I hit my low, I was basically just extremely unhappy at my day job. I was coming out of a relationship where I really thought I was going to end up with this person. And I dove into it very quickly, and he turned out to be the final lesson of a lesson that was thrown at me by the universe very many times about dating men who aren't healed internally. Basically, I got that lesson on repeat, and then I finally was like, oh, okay, so it's because I'm a healer, now I've seen it in both friendships and in relationships where people have some healing to do and they're naturally drawn to me, but I don't need that in a partner, and I've learned that I deserve to have someone who is equally as healed and wanting to grow and expand as myself, but that I am capable of healing people. And that was even before I started my emotion code certification process. So that lesson is learned. That chapter is closed. No more emotionally confused men, emotionally unstable men, and no more one-sided relationships, friendships, platonic ships, relationships, anything. So that's kind of how my journey began, with like hitting my bottom and being like, okay, how the fuck do I get out of Las Vegas? What am I really supposed to be doing in this life? I've been a performer my whole life, ballet since age 6, got my BFA in ballet, moved to Vegas and performed in the Strip's longest running show, classic showgirl show, for 2.5 years. Did a lot of local musical theater, went to LA, did some improv comedy school. So I've really just gone out and chased my dreams my whole life, and I knew that the next thing was going to be big, but I didn't really know what it was. And so energy healing is it. This is what I've been put on this earth to do. So my first emotion code experience was a half-hour session, and I had read the book The Emotion Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson. I recommend everybody reads it. It's an incredible read, just chock full of testimonials. So my first emotion code session was done remotely with a practitioner, named Emmanuel Zavaios, who is incredible, and he's a emotion code, body code practitioner. So within those 30 minutes, we worked on my chronic hip pain, which I knew was not from an injury, despite all of my dance injuries. This was just a weird kind of constant, permanent, I thought, ache in my hip. And so within 30 minutes, he brought my pain from an 8 to a 0, because my right hip capsule was where I was storing all of my breakup trauma pain, all of the men shit from my life. all those emotions were just like hanging out, clumped up together in my hip. So those emotional energies, we released them one by one, and then that pain was gone, and it has not come back. So I was like, well, I'm sold. Like, this work is incredible. It's to the point. It's direct. And that was sort of, I was working with a life coach at the time too. So I was getting the doing steps and the habits to implement in my life at the same time I was doing my own healing. So having those two things side by side was what really like propelled me into this change in this path. So I did several more emotion code body code sessions with him. And since moving home, my healing journey has really taken off. I have exchanged emotion code sessions with at least one other practitioner. There's one woman, she lives in South Africa. I love this. I work with people all over the world now. And she has been doing sessions for me. But I'll come back to that because I want to start with the energy work, the sessions in the order that I received them. So the emotion code sessions in Vegas, those were the first ones. So then when I moved back, I think the craziest, well, so I've done some access consciousness work now with the amazing Bambi Thompson, and I don't really have one session to talk about that I did with her because every single one is incredible. And for those of you who don't know what access consciousness is, I don't even know how to explain it, but you're basically like sitting there saying pod poc. There's like a long sentence that the practitioner says, and you release. You can feel like the molecules moving, and it adjusts your mindset and really like dives right to the paradigms that you have about certain things. We worked a lot about money mindset. We've worked a lot with anxiety. And she's just incredible. So I had some really great, powerful experiences with her, and things were coming up during the sessions that were very subconscious issues. One of them, for example, was, I think we were working on just me being home and building my business and any like fear or anxiety around that. And something came up that seems totally unrelated, but it was just like pandemic stress. And it was, how the hell am I supposed to meet my soulmate when the world's closed, basically? Meanwhile, I'm meeting people all over the world virtually, but you know, it's different when you are wanting to meet your romantic partner. So that came up. So just, you never know what's going to come up in these sessions. So anyway, these have been great experiences, and I'm continuing to do those. This session that really knocked my fucking socks off was an integrated energy therapy session with an amazing woman named Maria. And this work was done remotely. I don't think I even mentioned a specific issue that I wanted to work on. We were doing like the whole clearing, and I guess I could compare it to Reiki, sort of. I don't know enough about this specific modality to really tell you accurately what it entails. But the way I understand it is, so unlike Reiki, there are 9 points. So it's not just the 7 chakras. I believe there were 9 points, and I think through each point she was working through layers like physical, emotional, mental. Maybe there were more, and I could feel her. I'm definitely like clairsentient. I can feel where people are working on me, even when it's remote. So I was tuned in. I could feel like a presence by my feet. And this is where things got crazy. So I wrote some notes about this one. Okay, so the biggest thing that happened was basically she was working on like the womb area, so this chakra, and she was releasing. I didn't know what it was at the time. She wasn't telling me like the verbiage as it was happening, but she told me after that the thing that she was releasing from this whole area was stress and powerlessness. And when she did that, I felt like I was laying down. I shot straight up because I felt like I had the bed spins, like if you drink too much, and I felt like I couldn't breathe, like I was gasping for air. I shot straight up, almost fell off the bed, and I was just like, what I was like, hold on, I think I'm dying. Like, this is insane. This woman from hundreds of miles away just almost knocked me off my frickin' bed. What the hell was that? And I also had like a little bit of anxiety because it was just such a powerful, like whoosh out of me. Like, literally I could feel it leaving me. And so she told me afterwards when we talked that it was stress and powerlessness. And I knew exactly what it was linked to. A person in my life who I care about a lot, and he's been just choosing to be a part of a situation where the red flags are just all over the place, and yet he's continuing to move forward in this situation, and I can't save him. And it's someone that I care very deeply about, and being stressed out about it and feeling powerless about it that's dead on how I had been feeling. So it, like, holy moly, that was the most powerful thing. And since then, I have been able to forgive him for making what I feel are very unhealthy choices, because I know that this is his path and he's going to get lessons out of it. And also to establish my own boundaries with him, and to, like, give myself the space so that I won't be obsessing about it, and to give him the space to make his own mistakes and to live his own life. So, so that was huge in terms of moving forward with forgiveness and stuff. The other crazy thing from that specific session was that she told me she felt blocked when she was working on my heart area. And she gets, like, chills as a confirmation. So, like, her intuition connected to, source energy, she gets, like, chills when it's confirmed from above. So afterwards I was like, oh my gosh, what I just realized is I'm working on breaking down people's heart walls, but I still have a heart wall, and that is in the emotion code. That is the energetic walls that we build around our hearts to protect ourselves when we're going through difficult situations, and then later they bite us in the ass, basically, is the short term, a short version that I could give you. So I told her this, and she got the chills, and she's like, that's what it was. So that was wild, because that was something that had kind of popped into the back of my head, I think like a week before, like, oh shit, Heather, you never finished getting your own heart walls broken down. And I can easily do that work to myself, but I do, and I do sessions to myself all the time, but I do believe that having your own practitioner in whatever modality you do is super beneficial, because it's just, I feel like you can only go so far with yourself, because at the end of the day, you're going to have this little battle of, like, conscious versus subconscious. So I feel like the things that are maybe the deepest, it's just, I believe that it's just better to have some help with that. Like I could only massage myself so much before, like, I can't reach this area of my back or whatever. I guess that's a stupid example, but you get what I'm saying. So this led me to, there was another session. I'll come back to that one. So the heart walls that she was picking up on, the blockage around my heart, basically, was indeed a heart wall, which was built of trapped negative emotional energies. I think most were from this lifetime, maybe a couple past life emotions in there, but my practitioner also found a hidden heart wall. And that one was all past life stuff. And I have been getting a lot of signs to look into my past lives. And I was really feeling like that was because I needed to get some clues to fully stepping into my healing powers and capabilities in this lifetime, because I know I've done it before many times, but I just, I don't know. There's something I'm supposed to go back for. So anyway, so we removed that heart wall. Those were, that processing, that was heavy for a few days. I was emotionally all fucking over the place. But we did it. And then after we removed those two heart walls, it was interesting, because your subconscious mind usually builds the heart walls out of something, because a wall is built of something. So she told me that my heart wall was built of daisies, and I was like, daisies, interesting. Like, I'm not, I'm not particularly attached to daisies, and I didn't tell her, but I had actually tested myself to see what my heart wall was made out of. previously, and I had determined that my heart wall was made out of black stone, specifically black crystal, specifically in part black tourmaline. And that was just something I had done for my own curiosity. So I didn't tell her this. And then she told me my heart wall was made of daisies, and I didn't want to say anything. And then when we found the hidden heart wall and removed it, I thought, oh, maybe that one was the one that was black crystal, but I didn't say anything about it. So fast forward, she's broken down my heart wall and my hidden heart wall, and then I told her I was getting like waves of major anxiety. Like it triggered like after I eat, the last few weeks I've been getting like these waves of anxiety. And so she's like, well, let me go back in and let's double check and see if there's anything that I missed and blah, blah, blah. So she goes back in and she's doing this work while I'm sleeping. And she finds, I wake up to this report that she sent me, and I never told her about the heart wall material. And she sends me all these emotions. It was all from a lifetime that was 23 lifetimes ago. And at the top, she's written, your subconscious was very specific that this heart wall was made out of black rock. And I was like, oh my God. Like, my mind was just fucking blown, because I just, like, to get that kind of confirmation when I mean, I could have built this thing out of a million different things in the whole entire universe, but my subconscious, she got the same answer that I did, that it was built of black rock. And that's also very cool, because that means that even 23 lifetimes ago, I was definitely dabbling in healing, because that is a protective crystal. It's a protective stone. Most black crystals are. So anyway, that was another really cool story. About my healing journeys. There were 2 more sessions that I wanted to mention while I was on here. So one of them was the shamanic healing that I did. That one was also remote, so there was shamanic drumming, and that one also had singing, so it was like a little, I know it would have been a lot better in person, but it was still really cool. The woman's name was Marika, and she was awesome. And so the things that came up in that session, I didn't really know what to expect. It was very cool. She told me, I was doing this visualization thing she was walking me through as she was working on my heart area. And this was to like attract my ideal client. And as she's working on it, I saw like she told me what to be thinking about. She's like, think about this client that you want to attract. And then she starts drumming and singing. And so in my brain, I just start choreographing, because that's what I do when I hear music. And then I was like, Heather, you need to reel it in, like be in the moment. So I'm like, okay, let's use this rhythm for this visualization. And so I start picturing myself, and I'm like sending white light to this person, and I'm sending white light to this person. And it's kind of creating like this web, and then they're going out healing people. So it's creating this web-like structure, and dollar bills are flying at me because people are paying me to heal them. And so that was just the image that came to my head. I don't know. I never told her that. So at the end of the session, she told me, she just was going over everything with me. But the one thing that really stuck out was she mentioned that she had worked, when she had gotten to my heart area, she was getting visions of like a spider or something. And I was like, oh, fuck, I hate spiders. Like, this is not good. I killed one last night. And she's like, well, it doesn't necessarily mean like a spider itself. She's like, I think it could be connected more to like a web. She's like, I was seeing you kind of connected to your clients and just the web growing or something like that. And I was like, are you in my head? Like, that is literally the visual that I had. And so again, my mind was just absolutely blown. There was one more session. Oh, so then I also did a past life regression, and this was also a shamanic type regression, or a shamanic type healing. So this is from a practitioner named Wendy, who is in the Philippines, and this wasn't one of those like 2-hour super deep, like really intense ones. It was more, it wasn't quite as deep, and I think part of that was my own issue, because I was in my head about this regression, feeling like there was a lot of stuff I needed to get out of it, and I was also really scared because I'm learning about all the different ways I've been murdered in past lives lately, so I was a little scared about what I was going to see, but it ended up just showing me the year 1776 came to my mind, and I saw myself, like, I knew I had long brown hair, and I was wearing, like, woolen clothes, walking up to a house or a castle, and I knew that I had a basket of dried flowers, and I was the healer of the house, and I was going to the basement because I lived there in the basement, and I was the healer for the family that lived there. And I didn't meet anyone else in this regression. I just knew that I was there. I feel like the door didn't have a lock. There weren't many windows, if any, in the dark little basement area that I lived in. And I felt very trapped because I thought if I left, then I may end up on the streets. I didn't love being there, but I didn't, like, in the regression, I didn't know if I had any family or friends, but I definitely felt like I lived alone. And this seems to happen a lot in regressions. The personality of the woman of the house that I worked at was a very similar, if not the same, personality as that of one of my previous bosses. And the dynamic was me feeling like I couldn't leave that job because of money, basically. I felt trapped. And so that was the exact same dynamic that happened in this regression, was that I felt trapped. I felt like I didn't have any options being in that house, being in that space, because I might end up on the streets otherwise. So I think that regression was just a reminder that I had some forgiving left to do in regards to many people involved at a previous job situation. And so that was a friendly reminder, but it also allowed me to begin to move forward with that. So it was really cool, but I definitely feel like I'm supposed to go back and do some more regression work very soon. So I'm going to be doing that. And then once I start doing these sessions, I'll be able to post one story at a time about, each healing session and keep them a lot shorter. But this is why I wanted to do this now, because there's been so much in the last this has all been within like 3 months. I have done so much healing. And then I didn't even get into, after each one of these sessions, there's an integration period, a processing period. The lessons become clear, and the healing really happens. It's not like just for cool stories. It's like we're literally moving energy around and out of our fields and getting clarity and getting answers, and like starting to understand why other people are the way they are. And you're able to hold so much more space and forgiveness for those who are not as far along on their healing journey as you. And that's something that's beautiful, because understanding that is it gives you so much more peace, because it's like these people who you may have just gotten angry at before for just seeming stupid or whatever the case may be, really they're just struggling, and there's a lot that they don't know and they don't understand, or they haven't had these things given to them, or X, Y, and Z, and healing really opens your eyes up to that. So anyway, I'm going to jump off because I think I've been on here for like 20 minutes. But those are my recent incredible healing experiences. So those modalities, just to recap: emotion code and body code, integrated energy therapy, shamanic healing, a shamanic past life regression, and access consciousness. One last thing, in the latest access consciousness stories, when we were working on my anxiety, it came out that I have been suffocated and poisoned in past lives as well. It came up organically, and then I had a huge meltdown as we were releasing that. So, guys, I've been around the block. Anyway, thank you for watching, and feel free to comment below with your own healing experiences. I love to hear people's growth and people's stories. I'm especially interested in past life regression stuff right now, so let me know if you've done any. Yeah, that's all. Thanks for tuning in.